The Zack Files. Don't Count on Dracula. By Dan Greenburg, illustrated by Jack E. Davis. Chapter 1. Who would you rather meet, a movie star or a vampire? Meeting either one would be so cool, I could never choose. Luckily, I didn't have to. I met both the same night. Before I tell you about that, I should say who I am and stuff. My name is Zack. I'm 10 and a half and I go to the Horace Hyde-White School for Boys in New York City. My parents are divorced, and I mostly live with my dad. The things that happen to me are probably a lot weirder than those that happen to you. Unless you've run into Bigfoot at summer camp, or started turning into a cat, or watched your grandma become a teenager. The thing I want to tell you about started at the opening of a new horror movie at a theater in Times Square. It was on a Friday. The movie was Dracula Sucks. It starred this real old European horror movie actor named Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula, the vampire. You might remember him from some of his other movies, like Bats in the Belfry, Don't Count on Dracula, Coffin Medicine, and Fangs for Everything. Spencer and I love horror movies, and I have always been a big fan of Bela Lugosi. One of my favorite parts of a Bela Lugosi movie was when he fought a mummy at the end of Mummy Dearest. Anyway, the opening was a pretty big deal. They had searchlights and crowds of people and camera crews from the local TV stations. Bela Lugosi was coming in from Transylvania, or wherever he hangs out. Everybody who came to the opening was supposed to wear a costume. There were going to be prizes for the best ones. First prize was dinner with Bela Lugosi himself. I figured we didn't have any chance of winning, but it turned out not too many people wore costumes. Probably they were embarrassed or something. Spencer and I decided to go as bags of blood, the kind they always have in the ER on hospital TV shows. We wore these big plastic bags, with places for our heads, arms, and legs to stick out. The bags were painted red. In big letters on the tops of the bags, we had our blood types. Spencer's blood is type O, mine is type A double positive, which Dad says is really rare. Ushers led us past velvet ropes into the front of the theater. We marched up on stage before the movie began. The audience applauded for the costumes they liked best. 3 judges would decide who got the most applause. One was Bela Lugosi. He wore a tuxedo and a cape, just like in his movies. His hair was white, but he looked pretty perky for an old guy. I heard Lugosi is really a vampire, I whispered to Spencer. Zack, said Spencer, there's no such thing as vampires. How can you be so sure? I asked. Because, said Spencer, I've read up on it and I know. Spencer is probably the smartest kid in the whole state of New York. So if you disagree with him, you'd better have some pretty good proof. The audience really liked the costumes that Spencer and I wore. They clapped and shouted for both of us. The judges gave us first prize. We were going to have dinner after the show with Bela Lugosi. Then came the movie, Dracula Sucks. It was good, even though it was a lot like other Bela Lugosi movies. After the movie we went back to Dad's apartment to change out of our costumes. We were pretty excited about winning the dinner with Bela Lugosi. When we told Dad about our dinner, he was pretty excited, too. How the heck can you go to dinner with Bela Lugosi tonight, he said. Grandma Leah is coming in from Chicago. Well, maybe you could pick up Grandma at the airport. And then you could come back and get us at Bela Lugosi's hotel, I said. We'll definitely be finished by then. Dad sished, which meant he was going to let me go. From somewhere we heard a distant rumble of thunder. Dad dropped us off in front of the hotel. I'll be back in 2 hours to pick you up, said Dad. Assuming the rain doesn't slow me down. Spencer and I entered the hotel. We went up in the elevator and knocked on Bugosi's door. A butler guy opened it. "Please," said the butler. He had a funny accent. "We're Zack and Spencer," I said. "The winners of the costume contest." "One moment, please," said the butler. He disappeared. About a minute later, Mr. Bugosi came to the door. I couldn't believe we were standing face to face with the famous Mela Bugosi himself. This man was a movie star. At first I had trouble talking. "How do you do, sir?" I said. "Remember us? The winners of the company costume contest? I'm Zack, and this is Spencer." "Aw. Good evening, Zack and Spender," said Bugosi. "Good evening." He spoke with a very heavy accent. He was wearing the same black tuxedo and cape he wore at the opening. He seemed a little disappointed. "I thought you were going to wear your wonderful costumes to dinner," he said. "I loathe your costumes. I loathe them." "Thank you," I said. But they were too uncomfortable to wear for dinner. Plus which, we thought bags of blood at dinner might be, kind of gross. "Gross?" said Bugosi. "What means?" "Creepy," said Spencer. "Creepy?" Bugosi repeated. What could be creepy about bags of blood? Blood is lovely. Blood is beautiful, no? Yeah, okay, I said. I looked at Spencer. He rolled his eyes. The thunder rumbled again in the distance. Then the butler waved us into Bugosi's hotel suite. There were black draperies over all the windows. The walls were painted black. There were black carpets on the floors. Just about everything in the suite was black. Maybe they developed film here. There were black candles all over the place. The only light came from the candles. The mirror above the fireplace was covered up with a black cloth. "Look at that mirror," I whispered to Spencer. "Vampires don't show up in mirrors, in case you didn't know." "Bugosi is not a vampire," Spencer whispered back. Bugosi took each of us by an elbow and led us into the living room. "So," I said, "it's really an honor for us to be here, Mr. Bugosi." "Bet es Count Bugosi," he corrected me. "But that es not important. You may call me Your Excellency. And it's I who am honored by your presence. Never have I seen such lovely costumes." "Thank you, Your Excellency," I said. Bugosi nodded. The butler came into the living room. "Would the young gentleman like a drink before dinner?" he asked. "Sure," I said. "Can I get a Dr. Pepper?" Count Bugosi frowned. "You wish to see a doctor, Zack?" he said worriedly. "You are feeling sick?" No, I'm fine," I said. "Then why do you wish Dr. Pooper?" "Dr. Pepper," Spencer corrected him. "Not Pooper, Pepper. It's a drink." "Ah, a drink," said the Count. He turned to the butler. "Pavlov, do we have such a drink by the name Dr. Pooper?" "Pepper." "No, Your Excellency." "Ah," said the Count. "That sucks." Outside, it began to rain. I heard raindrops patter against the window panes. We went into the dining room for dinner. As soon as I sat down, I realized I had to go to the bathroom. "Your Excellency, can you tell me where to find the other John?" I asked. The Count frowned. "You wish to visit a person by the name of John?" he asked. Why do you not wait until after dinner, Zack? Oh, John isn't a person, I said. Ah, said Bugosi. John es drink? No. I said. In this country we sometimes call the toilet the John. I want to go to the toilet. Do you have a toilet here? Of course we have toilet here, Zack. Do you think we do our business under the table? The Count started laughing that creepy har laugh of his. The toilet is down the hall and to the right. Thanks, Your Excellency, I said. I went down the hall and turned right. I had to go through the bedroom to get to the bathroom. Right opposite the bed was a minibar. I love minibars. I wondered if there could be any Dr. Peppers in there. I opened the door and looked inside. No candy. Just 20 cans of tomato juice, labeled type B positive and type A negative. Yikes! This was not tomato juice. I was staring at 20 cans of blood. Was Count Bugosi a real vampire? If so, what were Spencer and I doing trapped in his hotel suite? And how could we get out of there before he decided to take a bite out of us? Chapter 2. I had to get a hold of myself. I had to calm down. I went into the bathroom. The toilet was black, too. I took a deep breath. Mela Bugosi wasn't a vampire, I told myself. He was an old horror film star who played the part of a vampire in his movies. And the juice labeled with blood types in his minibar was just part of the act. Yeah. For a minute there, I almost let my imagination get the best of me. Phew. I felt a lot calmer by the time I got back to the dinner table and Spencer. The rain outside was getting fierce. A sudden crash of thunder made me jump. So, Zack, said Count Bugosi, you find your friend John? Yeah, I said. In front of my plate was water in a delicate old glass goblet. I reached for it. But the glass slipped out of my hand. It shattered into about 1,000,000 pieces. I'm so sorry, Your Excellency. I said. I started picking up the pieces, and one of them cut my hand. A little drop of blood got on the white tablecloth. Oh, I said. I got my type A double positive on your tablecloth. Count Bugosi's eyes almost popped right out of his head. You have type A double positive, he squeaked. He leaned across the table and grabbed my hand. His eyes were kind of wild-looking. Best thing to do with a cut, he said hoarsely, sock the wound. He raised my hand to his lips. I pulled my hand away. That's okay, Your Excellency, I said. It's just a tiny cut. What they say in first aid books, said the Count. Sock the wound. That's only for snake bites, said Spencer. You suck the wound to get out the venom. There isn't any venom here. The Count reached for my hand again. What the heck, he said. I sock it anyway. No, thanks, I said, pulling my hand away again. I'm okay. No, said the Count. We must sock the wound. What doctors recommend. What hospitals recommend. What the Surgeon General himself recommend. Sock the wound. Maybe later, I said. I don't know why I said that. I didn't want anybody, not even somebody famous, sucking on my hand. I guess I'm just too polite for my own good. I got up and started toward the bathroom. I'll come with you, said Spencer. I could tell he was scared to stay in the room alone with Count Bugosi. In the bathroom medicine cabinet. We found some Band-Aids. So, what do you think, Spencer? I whispered. You still think there's no such thing as a vampire? There has never been any proof of such a thing, said Spencer. Then what about all that sock the wound business? Don't know. Maybe he's just trying to be helpful. You know, saliva is an antiseptic, the same as hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, right, I said. You know what I found in the minibar on my last trip to the John? Blood. Get out of here, said Spencer. You think I'm kidding? I said. I led him out of the John, into the bedroom. I opened the minibar. Okay, Spencer, what do you see? Tomato juice? Asked Spencer hopefully. No, tomato juice is labeled type A negative or type B positive, I said. Look, he said. We shouldn't jump to crazy conclusions. There could be a perfectly logical explanation for this. Then we both saw it. At the foot of the bed was a carved wooden chest 6 feet long. Oh, no, I said. Could that be what I think it is? A coffin. I'm sure it's just a wooden chest to hold blankets, said Spencer. I dare you to open it. I said. You dare me? Why don't you bet me? Okay. I said. You're on. I'll bet you $1 you don't have the guts to open that coffin. And you bet you it's not a coffin. How much? $5. You're on. We shook hands. Then we inched closer to the carved wooden chest. Go ahead, I said. Open it. Okay, said Spencer. He reached down and opened the chest. At that exact moment, the loudest clap of thunder I ever heard split the air. We both screamed. But it wasn't because of the thunder. It was because of what we saw inside the wooden chest. Chapter 3. The carved wooden chest was lined with black quilted satin. It was definitely a coffin. Inside it was a made-up bed with blankets, sheets, and a pillow. There was a little plush bat toy on the blankets. The sheets had been turned down for the night. There were little foil-wrapped chocolates on the pillow. Oh boy, I whispered. He really is a vampire. There must be some other explanation, said Spencer. Like what? I asked. You think he's just a normal guy who likes to sleep in coffins? I don't know. But I just can't believe in vampires. What would it take to convince you, Spencer? Having him bite you on the neck and suck out all your blood? By the way, you owe me $5. 4, said Spencer. You owe me $1 for opening it. Never mind that now, I said. We've got to get out of here. Fast. I closed the coffin lid and turned around. Count Pugosi was standing there, staring at us. I had no idea how long he'd been standing there. I didn't know if he saw us looking in his coffin or what. Oh, hi there, Your Excellency, I said. How's it going? Some storm outside there, huh? Well, we can certainly use the rainfall. Especially the farmers. And the reservoirs are at their lowest level in years, yes sir. I was so nervous I was babbling now, but I didn't care. What you are doing in my bedroom? Asked the Count. In your bedroom? Oh, your bedroom. Is this your bedroom? I didn't realize it was your bedroom. Nice bedroom. Nice, bed. Nice room. I looked at my watch. Oh, wow, is it that late already? I had no idea it was that late. I'm afraid we have to leave. Hate to cut my hand and run, but we have another appointment and we're really late. I grabbed Spencer and pulled him toward the door. Thunder exploded just outside the bedroom window. What other appointment? Asked the Count. He looked really upset. What other appointment? I said. An appointment for, dinner. That's right. Spencer and I won another dinner with another movie star at another opening we went to yesterday. So we really have to go. But we had a great time, no kidding. We'll have to do it again sometime when we're not so rushed. Maybe tomorrow.